Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People. Once again, February's come around, which can only mean one thing: Film February. If you don't remember from last year, over the course of the 4 weeks of February, I decided to shoot a different film stock, one that I'd never shot before, each week, and see what I can make. And as you can tell, this week it snowed, so I thought we'd head into the forest and shoot some Kodak Vision Free 500T. So Kodak Vision Free 500T is respooled motion picture film. I've shot the Vision Free 250D before and I was quite impressed with those results. And I thought with the extra stop of light and basically shooting the tungsten balance film in the snow, hopefully it should lead to a really nice cool blue tone. So I just thought we'd load it into the Contax G1, take some pictures in the snow and see what kind of results we can get. Let's go. Okay, so we ended up having to trim the end of the film tip, which wasn't ideal, had to kind of MacGyver it, but you know how we do. Gonna take one quick exposure now, just because I think I exposed maybe the first frame. So yeah, let's take a test one. Ready, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Okay. So for that shot there, we added a stop of overexposure as to counteract the whiteness of the snow. So hopefully that comes out nice. We really have no idea. It's different every time we shoot snow, especially with motion picture film that's tungsten balanced. We really don't know what we're gonna get, but that's half the fun. You've got to stand like that.
Onwards.
Got it. Hi guys, it's me, Ansel Adams here, and this is my YouTube video. And what we're going to do now guys is just take the exact same picture, because the last time we just shot it on auto, but we're going to add a stop of exposure as to compare.
Very orange.
You're laughing at my posture again. Whilst in the forest, we came across this kind of half-fallen tree which had been covered by snow, and I thought it could make for a pretty cool composition. I don't normally shoot on a tripod, I prefer to shoot handheld, but I thought it could make for a nice change here and to sort of get a little bit more of like a definite composition going. Unfortunately though, I really don't think either of these two images are particularly strong. If I had to pick a favourite out of the two, it'd probably be the first one, but they both just ended up coming out pretty flat. The first half of this roll has kind of just been me taking pictures whenever and wherever, kind of just warming up as we walked through the woods. But once we reached our destination at the top of the woods, I really got into the groove. Our destination was this playing fields that was at the top of the woods, and it's kind of a little bit isolated, and since we were there fairly early in the morning after it snowed, I figured that it'd be pretty empty and the snow would be pretty untouched, so I thought it would make for some nice images. And thankfully, it did. Not ball first covering my camera in snow though.
Oh, that doesn't work.
Oh shit. Oh, I've just covered that camera in Okay guys, so we've made it successfully to the playing fields. It's looking great, the snow's virtually untouched apart from Billy and Ollie, but hoping for some good pictures here. We're about halfway through the roll. I've shot the majority of it on that +1 exposure compensation, but I think now we might mix it up, maybe shoot some with the flash, take some nice pictures of the dogs, take some nice portraits of Maya, and maybe Maya will take some nice portraits of me. Anyway, let's go. Three, two, one. I started off by taking some portraits of Maya here, and I was using the flash to sort of counteract those cooler tones which I was expecting. So the final images here have a really nice balanced sort of cold background, warm subject look to them, which I like, and I think the flash pairs quite nicely with the natural light that was available too. Obviously, like in images like this, you can tell where I haven't used the flash and it's just solely natural light. And the lovely thing about shooting in the snow is that you get all of the light bouncing back up off that pure white. So your images are pretty evenly lit wherever you shoot them. I'm a really big fan of this image in particular. I really like how soft it is, and using only natural light, there is a hint of those cool blue undertones to the image. And I also really like the dogs in the background, both out of focus, but they kind of nicely ground the foreground subject. Scary.
How deep it is?
I mean, we've never seen it before.
I think so. Oh my god.
I really like this composition. Unfortunately though, with the G1 being sort of a rangefinder style camera, there is that slight amount of parallax distortion between the viewfinder and lens, and that's what resulted in this shot just being a tiny bit too far weighted to the right, as it was framed better in the viewfinder, with Maya being framed dead centre through this part of the goalpost, so I think just one more tiny step to the left would have balanced things out. That being said, still an interesting composition. I really like these two images of Maya here. I'm a big fan of the composition, and using the goalpost as part of the shot, especially in the second one, works really well. Yeah. I then let Maya take an image of me using the Vision 3, but I appear to be suffering from a momentary snow blindness, which kind of ruins the shot. Okay guys, I think we've got 2 shots left, so we'll take some more.
2 more to be specific.
I really liked this composition with Maya against sort of the horizon, so I decided to take a couple images here. The first 2 unfortunately didn't really feel right, so I took a step back and shot this one, which I really love. I like how sharp and in focus it is, and it came out pretty much exactly how I was envisioning, which was really nice. And I really love the colours too. There's some really nice like purple tones going on in sort of the far background forest, which is a pretty cool touch. I really do wish that the G1 could be this sharp all the time, but it really just seems to decide when it wants to. As you've seen through the majority of this video, most of the images are just pretty soft, which I'm not particularly the biggest fan of. I am potentially in the process of looking at buying a G2 and upgrading. However, for the time being, I'll just have to stick to this maybe 1 out of 30 sharpness rate. And at this point, the frame counter was displaying 38, so we got a
bonus shot.
I really love this image too. I think the flash and the sort of off-guard candid approach came out looking great. And now the frame counter was displaying at 41, and I immediately started panicking, thinking that I'd loaded the camera wrong and I hadn't taken shots this whole time and I'd basically wasted the day and the film. But it turns out that just because it's respooled, sometimes you get a little bit extra, so no cause for concern.
Okay, so the camera's re-rolling now, our 41 shots. Not exactly sure what's going to happen there, but it's all the way around. Probably something to do with what we did at the beginning. But yeah, overall very fun experience shooting it. Hopefully it all comes out nicely in the snow. We have no idea. And it's EC2N, so I'm going to have to wait 2 weeks anyway. Anyway, it's a very cold walk back home, so we're going to go do that now.
Okay, so how was Film February week 1 and how was the Kodak Vision 3 500T? Honestly, I was pretty surprised by the Vision 3. With it being motion picture film, I was expecting sort of more like unorthodox results. However, they turned out pretty consistent. I rarely use tungsten balanced films, so it was really nice to get to experiment with this one and also to not shoot it in tungsten balanced lighting either. That was pretty cool. I do enjoy shooting in the snow. I did it around this time last year. We shot some sort of expired slide film. I think it was like Fuji Provia or Velvia potentially in the snow last year in my RB67, and those came out great. But I do have to say, I think I'm slightly a bigger fan of this roll. I feel like it's a little bit, like I said earlier, a little bit more consistent, and also I like the nice mix of sort of landscape stuff and portrait stuff that we've got going on. I think of my favourite shots from the roll would probably have to be this orange runoff amidst the snow, and then maybe these two shots of my, and of course with this shot as an honourable mention. But like I said, overall I was pretty impressed with the film stock, and potentially it's one that I'd be down for shooting again in the future. But like I said, I'm a really big fan of these shots. Overall, I feel like it's gone really great, and I couldn't really ask for a better start to Film February. I did enjoy the Kodak Vision 3 250D that I shot a couple of years ago. That was also a great stock. So I'd definitely be down to shoot more Vision 3 500T in the future. Speaking of Film February, obviously this is week 1, we've got 3 more weeks to go, and I've got some pretty cool stuff coming, so if you'd like to see the rest of it, please consider subscribing. Anyway, with all that being said, if you've enjoyed this video, drop it a like, let me know which was your favourite shot in the comments below, or if you've ever shot Vision 3 500T before, let me know, and if you'd like to see more of my photography, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.
Hey guys, it's scarce. You ever see that meme?
No?
No? Oh. You never watched Scarce?